Hello everyone, and I welcome you all to my video on a 200 plus GAW celebration, a giveaway. And I want to thank you all for the support and encouragement and the nice comments that I've received from you during these last few months. It has given me more creative energy to continue to follow along with this great YTPC style of a hobby with pipes and tobaccos. So let's get on with it. The winner of this giveaway, I have decided to give a Meerschaum, mainly in honor of the March Meerschaum Madness that's going on right now, and I thought it would be appropriate. I have just 3 Meerschaums myself that I enjoy. Most of my collection is with briars, and those of you out there that might be or are a potential winner of this Meerschaum may already have some Meerschaum pipes. So I selected a Meerschaum pipe that's a little bit more away from the classic shape. It's still within the Meerschaum pipe. It's not too fancy or anything like that, but it has more of a modern edge to it. And I figured if you happen to win this, it would fit into a collection that you already have without too much repeating of style. And if you don't happen to have a Meerschaum, well then this would be the first pipe that you could see in the future what type of Meerschaum you might want to accompany this one. So let me show you this pipe. Take it out of the wrapper. It has a standard fitted case made usually for the shape of the pipe, and open it up. As you can see, it is a fairly long pipe, and I'll be talking about its dimensions in a few minutes. Let me put this down. Okay. Show you a close-up of the pipe. This is a what is called a ball shape smooth pipe, and the bottom part of it, like this, is called I guess they call it a scoop. Now this is a freeform carving. It's a good quality, genuine Meerschaum block that it's carved from. It has I can't see that too well, but it does have a nice deep bowl and an acrylic stem. Turn this around a little bit. Show you that. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Read a few things about it. This is an AKB Meerschaum, smooth freehand bent ball with the case. And it's a rather modern aesthetic with its scoop-like base, as I mentioned. As far as the size of it, you could probably get a good idea of the size. It is 6.8 inches long. That's about 172 millimeters. It has a nice weight to it. Not too heavy, not too light, but it feels really good in the hand. It's 2.2 ounces or almost 63 grams. Okay, the depth of this is 170 inches. Wait a minute, 1.7 inches, thank you. And that comes out to be about 43 millimeters. It has a pretty much general diameter of 0.83 inches or 21 millimeters. The stem is acrylic stem. It is non-filtered. Now, one nice thing about Meerschaum, from what I understand, is that it gives a very nice dry smoke because of the properties of the material of the Meerschaum itself. So even though we may be used to having a filter in our briar pipes, with a Meerschaum, it's not that critical, let's say that. Okay. And let's see, this is of course made somewhere in Turkey. So this is the giveaway pipe. All right, let me just put this back in the case, like so. Okay, tobacco. I do have several, tobaccos that go along with this. I wasn't sure what the winner would, well, I have no idea what kind of tobacco the winner will have, but I chose all of the tobaccos from the GLP's line. And the first one here that I'm showing, there's 4 of them altogether, 4 different tobaccos. They're all, I believe, 2-ounce tins. This is GLP's, called Quiet Nights. I am familiar with this tobacco and I enjoy it very much. The name Quiet Nights does fit the tobacco and the enjoyment of the tobacco very much. Let me just read just briefly what it has in it. It says, Quiet Nights, rich, deep, contemplative pipe, red Virginias, fine Orientals, smoky Cypress and Latakia, and a pinch of Arcadian Perique. Okay. The next tobacco in the giveaway is Bango Slices. I have not smoked this before, but I've read some reviews on it, and the reviews are very promising, actually. This tobacco, again, is a blend. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not a GLP's. Sorry, this is the only one that is not. The other 3 are. So this one is a crumble cake made of Cyprian, Latakia, and Oriental, bright Virginias, and black Cavendish. The third, this is a GLP's, 2 ounces, and it's called Key Largo. I selected this because it's a little bit different, maybe even a lot different in some cases, of the first tobacco, or Quiet Nights. Let me read what the blend is. It says, deep, earthy, and creamy, distinguished broken flake of red Virginia tobaccos, small leaf Orientals, and a measure of Cypress Latakia, with a velvety cigar wrapper leaf. Okay, so this has a little bit of wrapper leaf in it. This would be an inviting comparison with some of the other tobaccos. If you've smoked cigars before, you may be able to pick up the difference in the flavor and the taste of the smoke. So I thought that would be interesting to add to these tobaccos. And finally, the fourth and last tobacco is the GLP's. It's a Virginia cream, the Virginia cream. So if you're a aromatic smoker, you would get at least 1 out of the 4 that you particularly like. I have not smoked this myself, but again, some of the reviews are very positive about the enjoyment of this particular tobacco. Let me read just briefly. It says, distinctively delicious. How about that? Fine red and golden flue-cured Virginia tobaccos with a rare condimental leaf, enchanting the result with a subtle vanilla bourbon topping that is never overbearing. So in other words, it's comparing a tobacco that's an aromatic with some others that may be kind of sticky because they do have a lot of topping on it, whereas this is a little bit more liberal about that. And again, that's the vanilla cream. Okay, so this is the giveaway gifts for the winner. And how do you enter this? All right, what do you have to do? I want you to describe a food, yes, I said a food, that you like, and say also a little bit about when and where you maybe first ate it, not necessarily the first time, but along the way you ate this particular food that you really enjoyed and liked, it stood out. Maybe it was at home, at school, at a restaurant, a holiday that you were celebrating, graduation, birthday, grandma's house, Aunt Emma's kitchen, whatever. So some food for thought here. See what I did? See what I did there? Okay. Maybe you remember when you were young and you enjoyed peanut butter and a glass of cold milk. And you could recall that very vividly. You knew it was a grape jelly with the peanut butter, and that cold milk just hit the spot. It was good. You were maybe 6 or 7 years old, but you knew what you liked. All right, or maybe some of you may remember what a moon pie is. Moon pies are still sold today, but they were first baked in a Chattanooga bakery in 1917, a long time ago, but they've existed since. And they're sort of a southern treat. They're usually enjoyed with an RC cola. So when we were small and we would go into, say, a drugstore and sat down, we'd say, we want a RC cola and a moon pie. And it's just really, really good today, together. Today they do have moon pies. Well, let me talk about the moon pie itself. It has a graham cracker cookie, actually 2 of them, about 4 inches in diameter, and stuffed between them is a marshmallow cream, and then the whole sandwich cookie is dipped in chocolate, and it's usually sold in a see-through wrapper. Today you can get the same thing but with different flavors. I think vanilla, strawberry, salted caramel. Sounds all delicious. So perhaps this is inspiring for you to say, yeah, I haven't thought about that for years, and I remember enjoying that myself. Just a thought. Food for thought. Yeah, okay. How about thinking about some of the kitchen smells during the holidays that you remember? Holidays of Thanksgiving or Christmas, or bread baking in the kitchen, or a cake in the oven for your birthday. And maybe grandma's kitchen visit with the smells of roasting chicken or a delicious pot roast. Or maybe you remember something best about a barbecue that you enjoyed on vacation. Then another thing to perhaps consider is comfort food. I love spaghetti and meatballs, and I like meatloaf. One of the comfort foods that I particularly remember is usually in high school. High school I went to, on Monday at the cafeteria, they served mac and cheese or grilled cheese sandwiches. You had a choice of that with tomato soup. And it was delicious. Everyone, all of us kids, just consumed everything, especially the grilled cheese sandwich and the tomato soup just seemed to hit the spot. And I kind of remember those times. Okay. There are, in my own case, there are two remembrances of food that stand out when I lived in New Orleans. New Orleans is the way it's called. New Orleans. Nouvelle-Orléans. Enchanté. Enchanté. Good food, good seafood especially. There is one seafood sandwich which is very good. It's called a pour boy, a French pour boy. You could get roast beef in it, you could get oysters in it, you could get shrimp in it. And the oysters and shrimp are usually deep fried with a light batter and with special Cajun spices, and they're put in some French bread. The bread itself is maybe about 8 inches long, and it's cut lengthwise, and so you have the two halves. What they do is they lather one half up with a little bit of mayonnaise. Then they'll put the deep fried shrimp or the oysters on it. And then before they close it, if you didn't tell them, they'll ask you, now get this, they'll ask you, do you want it dressed? And when I was first down there and had my first poor boy, I was with my girlfriend, and I just looked at her. I said, I didn't know what they were asking me. Do you want your sandwich dressed? And she smiled and she says, they want to know if you want tomatoes and lettuce on it. And so they put lettuce and tomatoes on it, and that is a very, very good, delicious sandwich that I remember at that time. So one other thing before we finish up here, when I relocated to Utah, I came across a food that was a little bit different in Utah than New Orleans, but also very delicious. And I was at work maybe the first week, and a group of us were sitting around drinking some coffee, and one of the girls there was talking about, now get this, was talking about funeral potatoes. Yep, you heard it right, funeral potatoes. And that got my attention right away. Funeral potatoes, what could that possibly be? So they did explain that it's really a tradition at a reception after the funeral. All the women and families would bring casseroles to the reception, and one of the main casseroles brought by quite a few women would usually be potatoes, more like a potato au gratin, if you want to compare it to get an understanding of what that is and what it may taste like. Potatoes au gratin, but it got the name traditionally as funeral potatoes. And funeral potatoes really are quite delicious, quite good. In fact, they're made maybe a little bit different. So my girlfriend at the time says, okay, here I'm going to give you a recipe for what I like as far as funeral potatoes. So here is the, let's see if you could see that. Here is a recipe if you want to go ahead and copy it down, give it to your significant other to make sometime. It's, like I say, a Utah classic. It has potatoes, and the potatoes they use could be fresh potatoes, but I preferred a frozen bag of hash brown potatoes, a large bag, around a 32 ounce bag, and it has cheddar cheese in. You could use different type of cheese, like a little bit of sharp cheddar is my preference, and sometimes a mixture of Monterey Jack, and then 1 can of cream chicken soup, a little bit of onions chopped in. Mix that all together, put it in the oven at 375 for about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes if you use the frozen potatoes. So that is really quite good. One of the pipe smokers here in Utah, Doc Bravo, I believe he lives in Sandy, and I'm sure he knows what funeral potatoes are, and probably enjoys them if they make it there at their home. All right. Now I've been at several restaurants, and here in Utah there's some really fine restaurants and some just walk-in restaurants to get everyday food. I went into a little shop. It was sort of like a Cajun seafood shop, but not really Cajun, although they had some dishes with that in mind. And one of them is called a clam chowder, and it is absolutely delicious. It's so good that I want to give you this recipe to at least look at. Now it's in fine print. Maybe it's a little bit difficult to see, but I'll leave this up here for a little bit so that you could stop it at another time if you want to and copy it down. It's simply called a very satisfying clam chowder. One nice thing about this clam chowder is you could buy all the ingredients from any store, nothing exotic, and that's including the minced clams that are in a can. Usually you can find those minced clams by the canned tuna fish, okay? But don't use the canned tuna fish. Use the minced clam. 2 cans of that along with the juice. You have some flour, butter, and a whole quart of milk or half and half. I strongly suggest to use the half and half, okay? And of course, some diced potatoes, onions and celery, that type of stuff, and a little bit of vinegar. Put all that stuff in and stir it around, cook it up, follow the directions, and have that with some good French bread, crusty French bread, or some type of crusty bread, or at least crackers, and you will really enjoy that. It's a little on the rich side, but it's worth every calorie. Okay. One more thing, as far as showing you recipes, to give you ideas of what comments you want to make, or what VR response you want to make. When we were growing up at home, one of our treats and our desserts was ice cream. My favorite was vanilla, although I enjoyed all of them very much. And we usually had a chocolate sauce, Hershey chocolate sauce that you could get in a can, Hershey syrup, I guess they called it, and very, very delicious. Well, a while back, my mom really enjoyed watching some of the cooking shows on television networks, and her favorite was Emeril Lagasse. And you may have heard of him or seen some of his shows. And he gave out I believe it was him that gave out this chocolate recipe, and she wrote it down. And she sent me a copy way back when of this. And it's very simple to make. It has cocoa. It has a few other things in there you put all together, cook it up. It has the cream or the canned. Excuse me. It's the canned carnation. 1 can of carnation milk. I think this is evaporated milk. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's what you meant. Yes, it's not regular milk. It's the evaporated milk you put in there. And after it cooks up for a while, put a lump of butter in it and a teaspoon of vanilla, and voila, you have it. It's delicious. Like I say, on my favorite ice cream of the day, and I think you might also enjoy it too. The kids, if you have any children at home, they're going to go crazy. So, okay, so these are some of the ideas that I tried to give for you to consider along the way to putting something forth to enter my GAW or my giveaway. Now, you have a choice in entering it of either a comment or a video response, a VR. Either one of those, you need to put them here in this giveaway video so that I could keep track and make sure that everyone is considered for the drawing. So you could put a comment down here, and the comment could be maybe 1 sentence, maybe 2, 3 sentences, as long as you want it. It doesn't matter. And the idea behind this is to identify some food that you ate along the way and that you really liked, and you want to share it with everyone and say, yeah, I really like this. Because there's a lot of us out there that's going to be reading some of these and enjoying what people like and what they thought was special. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences at the most. More if you want to, that's okay. If you're making a video response, please put some kind of a link in this giveaway video, so that I could keep track of everything. All right. Let's see. I don't want to forget anything. All right. A comment gets 1 chance in the drawing. A video has a little bit more organization to get one posted online. You get 3 opportunities, 3 chances. So a comment is 1 chance. A video is 3 chances for the drawing. All right. The giveaway is opened internationally to everyone. I will post the package, and the winner in turn would be required to take care of any taxes involved with the package or any custom fees, things like that. All right. So a little housekeeping. You have to be subbed to my channel, and legal smoking age for where you live, and any of the other requirements that are usually included in the giveaways here for YTPC. But those are two of the main ones that I could remember right now. All right. Excuse me. So finally, I wish everyone a good time recalling some of the delicious food that you like. I also ask you, if you would, to give this video a shout out. I would like to have as many pipe smokers as possible to at least have a chance to decide whether they want to go ahead and get involved with this giveaway. Now, the giveaway is starting right now as soon as you see this. And it will go all the way to midnight, Friday, Eastern Standard Time on March the 29th. So there's not too much time. You have about 20 days from now. Today is the 9th. So you have until Friday the 29th of March. And the giveaway video I will plan on posting that Sunday afternoon, sometime that afternoon, on March the 31st. So if you would give a shout out for this channel, this giveaway, that would help give out the information on it. So I thank everyone, and I again wish you good luck with the drawing, and happy smokes, everyone. Enjoy the weekend and the rest of the day. Bye for now.